Hey guys, welcome back. This is the Mysterious What If here, and we're coming back with episode 3. As you can obviously tell, I download more pictures for this What If, and where we left off, Deku jumped. Now, just for some background information, when Izuku jumped, I said he disappeared, he vanished. That is true. But what I did not say, when he jumped, this man appeared. The Ancient One, with his mighty voice of going, "Boy, you cannot die here. I don't care what kind of pain and suffering you have to go through. But what I do care is that you will live again, but different. You will look like him. Instead of your green and black hair, you will look like this, red and black, with one green eye to show of your past life." Well, Izuku agrees and says, "I am sorry I failed you." And the Ancient One says, "Boy, do not worry about the Thum, but what comes after the Thum. But since you have gone through immense pain, your quirk, as you call it, shall be unlocked. You are the new Ancient One. Take my hand, and I will give you my power, for you to become the Heavenly Guardian and Hell's newest Lord." And Izuku being, Izuku, which originally was a half-god, he was a pure god, no. He was a true god, but not a pure god. But anyways, we will come back to that. He says, "Boy, you will go back, but when you do, you cannot fail at being a hero. You must become one, because if not, Earth will be no more." And Zuku's like, "Okay." But now, we will skip through the entire 10 months training, because through that time, trillions of years has happened. Every month is a trillion years. So this guy has gone through 10 trillion years and looks like this normally. But when he was training, he wears this armor when he's training with the Ancient One. When he is with God or the archangels, he trains in this form. And as you can see, in his demon form, he has that big sword. Then in his holy form, he has that sword. But in his holy form, he will now have this sword. In his demonic form, he'll have this sword. But when he has 3 armors, he has the Shadow Samurai, he has the Heavenly Knight, and Hell's new Lord, or as I shall call, Dark Side. Well, anyways, as life goes on, through the 10 months, the Ancient One says, "Boy, you will go back home with my power and rule the world of villains. You shall be feared by everyone." And Izuku says, "Yes, my lord. I, Izuku Midoriya, shall take your place and become the new Ancient One." He says, "Good. Now go back." And all of a sudden, there's a giant black void that swallows Izuku whole. And Izuku wakes up in a sweat. But Originally, I was thinking about making him look like this, because that would be pretty cool, but sadly no. His body itself shall look like this without the girl, but he will be jacked. When he is really angry, he'll kind of do this pose when he is getting angry. And when he is angry, he becomes either this or this. For the heavenly form, I'm thinking about making him the snake, but for the devil form, he'll become the dragon of death. But there's a twist. Zuko here can turn in between this and this or this, or this anytime he wants. But for him to be the serpent of the land, there has to be reasoning. He has to lose all hope. Because if he's in a very desperate situation where he is severely injured and wants revenge terribly, he will turn from this to this. This is the form that is locked for now. He can only turn to this. But, oh god, I zoomed in so much. I don't know why, but I like the helmet on this guy. But I like the shoulders on this one along with the gauntlets. But I like this guy's lower half and torso. It's just cool. Anyways, Zuko checks the time, because before he went, the Ancient One said, "Boy, you might need this," and hands him a cell phone, or the newest smartphone, I guess you can say. And he says, "Sir, why do you do this for me?" "You are like a son to me, boy, so I shall take care of my next lord." He agrees. And look at that $1 million smile. If I was gay, I would not mind to have that as a boyfriend. But anyways, no homo. That was a joke. But back to the thing. He walks around, and when he wakes up, he has this in his right hand and this in his left. But he switches unconsciously to Heaven's Guardian, or as I like to call it, the Colossal. He transforms into this armor with that standard sword, because if he wants to more power, he'll go to this one, same in the demon form. But he's walking around, and UA is a college, or not a college. Well, yeah, it's like from 12th to the end of college, which is like 4 years. So he'll have from the end of 12th grade to college. But anyways, Izuku walks around town and sees there's a villain fight going on. And he goes, "Oh no." So in his holy armor, he says, "In the name of the Holy and the Holy One, grant me your power and give me the weapon that will destroy my foes. Amen." And as soon as he says that, his sword turns into this with the holy light. And it makes a kind of like a lightsaber, but not as loud. It's like a nice calming noise. But anyways, that does not matter. Zuko runs to the battle with the sword and strikes down the villain, cutting him in half. And while he cut him in half, there's also All Might, who I forgot to add in this one, but he is here. Here, let's move him to folder 1, so I don't have to deal with it. later. There we go. Anyways. Oh, man, it didn't show. There it is. But All Might says, "Thank you," as he passes out from the blood loss against his battle with All For One. And yes, Izuku Midoriya, known as the Heavenly Knight, cut All For One in half. Because in this armor, he's a walking tank. Max offense and max defense. Like, you can get past it and it will break, but only after severe stress or severe injury. Because as you can tell, there's no armor for the black piece or in between the joints of his armor, around his neck, and even behind his legs. And, you know, he can get stabbed right here if he's not careful, and the same goes for the back. But in this armor, he's a little more protective, but it's not as strong as the Heavenly one. This one's mostly for offense. Like, if you was to compare this is Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. This is Broly. Pretty darn close in power, but he has a better defense than him. This almost has, like, this has the 25%, no, 50% of the defense this has in its true form. This is the final form for this armor, the only form, because I'm lazy. But anyways, a time skip of a few, well, what's the word? Days. He visits Toshinori Yagi because, remember, Toshinori Yagi, well, spoiler, I can't remember if I said who Izuku's father was, but this is his father, and Izuku knows it, but he doesn't know that was Izuku. But anyways, he says, hey dad, and he goes, "Izuku, my boy, haha, how are you?" "I'm alright. How's your wound?" He lifts up his shirt, but instead of half of his respiratory system, like, completely disintegrated, All Might just simply has a stab wound and a couple of broken ribs with severe blood loss, because, like, it tore through skin, but luckily missed his organs and respiratory system. And Izuku goes, "Yo, Dad, or how do I put this? Tomorrow I'm going to the UA exam." He's like, because he doesn't quite know his father's All Might, but he will figure it out eventually. He says, "Haha, yes, son, I will be a teacher there." Or he doesn't say that he'll be a teacher, but he's thinking, "I'm gonna be a teacher there in my All Might form, yo, and you ain't gonna expect me, so if you act up, I'm gonna Detroit smash your face with a bitch slap." Don't know why I said that, but it sounded funny to me. He's like, "Alright, Dad, see ya." So he goes trains in this armor. This is his rage armor. This is too, but, like, for this to get transformed into, how do I put it? Because when you look in the similarities of the armor, there's real similar, especially the horn area. So I'm thinking about making this the rage version of this, but you know what? No, let's not do that, because he'll confuse everyone. But anyways, Izuku trains his best for UA exam, and he says, "Give me a second, guys. I have to do something real quick. I'll be back." Alright, guys, I'm back. Sorry for that. Anyways, Izuku arrives at the UA entrance exam, the writing portion. And of course, this guy's, like, ridiculously smart because he was trained by the Ancient One himself. Look at that face, that loving smile, my guy. Anyways, I really do like the background. The background's nice. Kind of how he looks like a shadow. So I'm gonna make it to where. Anyways, Izuku walks in, and this guy is ridiculously smart. So he aces the test as soon as he starts. Like, because in this armor he has maximum. His strength is beyond the Ancient One itself. but he cannot go beyond his limit. Right now, he is under the Ancient One, but when he gets past his human limiter, which is when he goes into a blinding rage, he'll be strong, if not stronger than the Ancient One. But right now, Izuku walks in, he sits down, and President Mike says, "Hey, little listeners, are you ready?" Of course, no one says a thing because why? President Mike is ridiculously loud. And, so he passes out the papers, and as soon as President Mike gets done passing out papers, Izuku jolts up in his armor, making almost... He kind of sound like a clunk when he got up. Well, it's not a loud clunk. It's like dropping a remote on a floor, kind of like that loud. And he gets up with his sword heathed on his back. He walks up to Mike and hands him the paper, and he aced that thing like it was nothing. And he tells President Mike, "Dude, this was like ridiculously easy. I could have done this with my like butt cheeks blindfolded. This was like it was made by a mouse or a child." And of course, President Mike's laughing to himself on the inside, dying, laughing, just going, "Oh my god, this dude seriously has no clue that the principal's a mouse." But it's funny. And so he goes to he looks at Zuko and says, "Well, little listener, are you sure you are finished? Because if not, you cannot redo this." And he says, "Yes, sir." And President Mike says, "All right, kiddo, head to fake city A, or go to the next room down the hall on the right." Zuko says, "Yes, sir," and goes to that room. When everyone else finishes, they go to that room with Izuku sleeping in his armor, making almost no noise. The only reason you can tell he's asleep is because his head's slumped over, and his arms are crossed, his feet's on the table, and he's just like you can like if you got real close to his helmet, you could hear him sleeping. As it goes on, they're explaining the 1-pointers. Let's see. The 2-pointers and 3-pointers. This is the 0-pointer. And so Zuko in his armor is sleeping, and Ida, being the asshole he is for the moment, does his weird hand chop and goes, "President Mike, sir, you did not explain the fourth robot." And you points at Izuku. And Izuku just wakes up and he's looking around like, "Huh?" And he goes, "If you're gonna fall asleep in this exam, I suggest you to leave now, because this is a place for no rudeness." And he's angry. So without knowing, this freaky thing appears in his hand at Ida's neck. And he says, "If you know what's good for you, you would shut up." And he goes, "Yes, sir." He sits back down, and President Mike finishes his deal. But, anyways. Of course, as soon as he says the gates start opening, Zuko, seemingly teleports with a cloud of smoke following him. Because he is so fast, and he unsheathes this sword. This one. Not this one that appeared earlier, but this one. And swipes it once. And obliterating every single robot that there is. And Nezu's like, "What the fuck?" And All Might goes, thinking to himself, "Haha, that's my boy." But out loud he says, Nezu, who is that kid? And President Mike says, that's Izuku Midoriya, sir. And of course, Nezu does the background check and goes, holy shit. I'm scared. And he starts crying. Like, you can see little tears run down his mouse-like face. And everyone's like, aww. And then he's like, well, anyways. At this rate, I'm pretty sure he and All Might would be an even match. Because Nezu has zero clue that this dude could clap All Might. All Might's son could clap him just by the sound of his butt cheeks. Like, if he was to, like, get on his tippy toes and then drop down to his heels, his butt cheek would, just the butt cheeks would have enough force to send All Might flying like 3 feet, or get sent back by 3 feet. Just the clapping of his butt cheeks. Imagine getting punched by Izuku. Dude, All Might would go flying for like a mile and then eventually come back. But anyways, they don't know that yet. But Izuku passes, and he saves none other than female Kirishima. Now, many of you are probably wondering, what the fuck? I seriously cannot remember if I made Kirishima a boy or girl in this series. I really don't know, don't care, because this is like 1 to 2 days after the last one. I think, yeah, I did the other one last night, along with part 1. But anyways, life goes on. We time skip 3 weeks. Izuku gets his letter from his father, Toshinori. Still has zero clue that's All Might. And he smiles this lovely smile when he figures out he's in UA. And what time is it? Dang, 22. I think I'll end it here in a few minutes at 25. But anyways, he goes out, goes to class, and class starts, and he does the normal thing as all introducing. And when they do introductions, Zuku gets up and just out of pure manliness, you could say, Izuku just gets up, walks over and says, yo, my name's Izuku Midoriya. Any of you mess with me, I will kill you. Because they don't have a clue what he looks like. He still wears this, like, constantly at UA. And Zawa says, alright kids, take these PE uniforms and get changed. So they do so, and when they're in there, female Kirishima has a crush on Deku, like, hardcore. And she's peeping through the peephole. Alright, not Mineta. Idro Kirishima, female Idro Kirishima, is spying on Izuku like he's seriously just eye candy. But anyways, they're looking, and all of a sudden, Izuku removes his helmet, because all the other boys left, all the other girls left. And she sees his loving face and that $1 million smile with, of course, the badass looking vampire teeth, because why the fuck not, bro? Anyways, he goes to where everyone else is. He tosses the ball to Izuku and says, well, kid, since you got 100,000 points, almost breaking UA's record, you are second. All Might is first with 200,000. That is only because he was in school. He punched once and like obliterated the city he was in and the city behind him. Thank God there's no city behind him. No at the sea, behind the sea. Oh, crap. Is it getting close? Yeah, it's past. Well, anyways, he explains, and he says, here, throw this. And Izuku goes all out. I mean, 100%, which is the ancient one. Throws the ball, and it, like, rips a hole through time and space, which is a dimensional rip. You could see the diamond shape with the weird colors, you know, kind of looks like rainbow colored void. And, like, it seals itself back up. And it happens again right next to Izuku. And, like, lands. And it hits so hard because it crystallized to the point where, like, it's super heavy. Like, 100 tons heavy. Ozawa just looks at him and goes, infinite, screw it. Gets another ball and does the rest of them. Izuku Midoriya comes first, Katsuki Bakugo, etc., etc. Mineta gets kicked out because, like, why not? But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the end for part 3. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have an awesome and amazing day. Have fun, chillax. See you next time.